Good morning. I hope everyone's doing well out there. You're having a great day and you're feeling refreshed. I just wanted to get on here and let you know, talk about two things to this live thing. Thanks for those of you that watched yesterday. The quality of our sleep. I wrote this book called The Daylight Diet years ago, and it talks about not eating when it's dark outside and only eating during the daytime hours. And there's a big connection between the moon and water, and there's a big connection between the sun and our digestion. And when our bodies are cleansing, uh, the body's made mostly of water, believe it or not. And when our body's cleansing, just like the moon has an effect on the tides, the low tides and the high tides, they're moving different ways. It works the same thing with our body, that our bodies are cleansing at nighttime when nature and design does the way it's supposed to do. There's a circadian rhythm in your eyes that when its sun is bright, it knows it's bright outside, and there's certain things in the body that work a certain way as than when they're not. For example, when you uh, when you're outside in the middle of the day, the protection on the skin is at its highest to protect you from getting a sunburn. It doesn't mean you're not going to get a sunburn if you're not careful and you don't spend too much time, you spend too much time in the sun, but it's a lot more stronger in the day than it is at night. When it's dark outside and the moon is out, that protection comes down. But we can fool this if in the daytime we wear sunglasses, we trick the body or the nerve in the eye, the optic nerve in the eye, to think it's nighttime. So we're not going to have the same effect as that protection on our skin. Well, it works the same way with with the food we eat and digestion. At nighttime, our body is supposed to be cleansing and the waters are cleansing. Where in the daytime, that's the ideal time for digestion. So if you wear sunglasses to whether it's to protect the sun from your eyes or you want to look cool, and you're eating at that time, it's like eating at nighttime, even if you're eating in a day, because that optic nerve is being fooled, and digestion won't be as well. So when it's bright outside and the sun's highest, uh, that's when the digestion is working the most. So these are things to consider. And another thing to consider is our sleep and our rest and the natural cycles of the body. Is when we're going to sleep at nighttime, our bodies are going to be able to have the cleansing process better than if it was daytime and daylight hours. But because of the crazy world we live in today, it's difficult not to get sucked in to the multi-million dollar advertisers that are training us to live backwards to this natural cycle and do most of our things being awake at nighttime and eating at nighttime, as opposed to the daytime when we're supposed to be doing these things. That's what the advertisers and the leaders of the Facebooks and all the social media want us to do. They want us to spend as much money as possible, never going to sleep and never stop eating. That's what they're trained and they try to get us to do. And what I'm suggesting here in the daylight diet is for us to be as healthy as possible, we have to put in our bodies is the most natural place as possible, and that is to be sleeping and cleansing when the moon is out. And to do that, you definitely can't be eating when it's dark outside, or especially later at night. The more time you give yourself before going to sleep to get rid of the food and the waste of the food that you've eaten during the daytime, the better off you're going to sleep. And why is that important? Is because when you're sleeping, your body is healing. This really isn't about diet. This is about having the most healing time so you can thrive in life. And the way to thrive in life is by uh, being as healthy as possible. And a way to be as healthy as possible is try to, as much as customs today and the world today tries to force us out of our natural rhythm of the way we should be living, is try to get back to it. Because as I explain in this book, if you take a particular plant from the forest and you bring it to a flower shop and you try to keep that plant alive, you're gonna try to mimic the forest to keep it alive. And you will be successful if you're doing it the right way. You're making believe there's a fake mist, so you're misting it maybe with a bottle of water or something, and maybe you're putting it next to other plants and you got the temperature right in that particular, whether it's a cage or a little area, you're mimicking it. But it's never going to thrive as much as it would as it was in its most natural environment. And what we want to do is we want to put ourselves in the best possible environment, well, it's mimicking it or it's natural. And the way to do it most naturally is to uh, lights out when it's dark out. The Amish had it right. Electricity is destroying us, not only with keeping us awake at night because the advertisers are trained to keep us engaged, but TV is no different. The advertisers have just took that over. They've been trying to do that for a long time with nighttime TV. So what I'm suggesting is when the sun goes down, the electricity should go off. And it might not be practical for all of us to shut our electricity at nighttime when the sun goes down, because that might be too early, especially in the wintertime when the days are shorter. However, we could definitely be wise and shut certain electric appliances down. Uh, Definitely the TV, possibly the internet. If you're going to be on the internet, at least be aware of what you're watching at that time. It all has effect on our minds and so on. And what is the significance of eating at the right time and sleeping at the well, shutting the electricity down at the right time? It all comes down to giving your body the best chance and opportunity to get the best sleep possible. And sleep is essential. It's where the healing takes place. I wrote this book many years ago and I spoke about it in this book. And now there's many podcasts and more people are talking about the importance of getting good sleep. And the great thing is now you can monitor your sleep and you're monitoring your sleep and you can know if you're getting good sleep. And I'm learning about this because I got one of these monitors, these Aura rings a couple of days ago and learning the time you spend in bed is not necessarily the time you're sleeping. And this is one of the connections I made in the daylight diet is if we eat right before going to sleep, we might be tossing and turning and having nightmares. And we wake up in the morning, and even though we're in bed a long time, it still feels like we haven't slept because the quality of our sleep was messed up by our diet or something we've seen right before going to sleep. And we weren't getting a good quality of sleep, even though the timing might be there. So, in monitoring the timing of these things and so on. This is why some people will eat a certain diet that seems great on paper, but they might not have the great success. It's because I believe they're not living in the right time they should be eating and be awake. And some people want to call themselves a nighttime owl, and some people say they're a daytime person or a morning person. And we're all designed and created, in my research and understanding, is to be in rhythm with this. And artificial electricity has taken that different. And there are some sleep studies that might say no, some people truly are night owls. Well, I would submit to say, well, if we didn't have electricity, would they really be night owls? And many people are trained and they're doing a lot of these studies on people to think they're night owls, but I don't think anyone is truly naturally a night owl because we're not animals that are awake at night and sleeping all day. We're not formed that way. So this is important. And of course, we get into the diet we eat. And if we're eating the right nutrients and getting enough nutrition in a day, we're not going to be hungry at nighttime. And this is the problem with the standard American diet and many other diets out there that aren't healthy. They're giving you a lot of food, but they're never get satisfying your nutritional needs. And thus, you're still hungry at nighttime. Now, most people have something called habit hunger, where no matter what time, no matter how much they eat during the day, no matter how many nutrients they get, they still have that. They're in the mood for food at night because the TV, the advertising, and the connection, they all connect it and they make you want to eat at nighttime. But the real thing is overeating. And overeating is a big problem because even though people are eating food, if your food doesn't have the nutrition it needs in it, your body's not gonna, it's always gonna crave more food. And a lot of the studies are shown with unhealthy food. But when you're eating high nutrition food, not extreme calories or extreme nutrition, but the right nutrition, the nutrition that's given to us in according to our what do they say, specific uh, type diet, whatever, we're going to be able to be healthier. And that is raw foods. And when you cook the food, you start taking it and denaturing it. And when you eat cooked food, if you eat cooked food during the daytime, you're most likely going to desire food at nighttime because you're not giving your body every single thing it needs. Because besides nutrients, we have to understand in nature there's more to it that has not yet been discovered by science. And there's something special about eating raw food during the daylight hours that satisfies you where you're not hungry at nighttime because we're not nocturnal animals where we sleep all day and we eat all night and we're up all night. At least we're not supposed to be, but that's what many people do. But when you eat cooked food during the daytime, you're not getting the life force from the food. And that's going to put you, even if you've met nutritional needs on paper, it's still going to leave you desiring something at nighttime from a food slash pleasure slash nutrition slash X is missing standpoint. But this is when your body naturally should be getting ready for bed and sleeping. And in the daytime hours, this is when we should be eating the food, the right food in the right way. So you see these grapes here. If I took these grapes and I put them in a pot of boiled water, and now the water's boiling, I'm taking that life force out of this. And now you eat that in the daytime, you might still desire food at nighttime. But if you pick these grapes right off the vine and you eat them in the daytime, you're going to be satisfied and you're not going to desire this at nighttime. But even if I take these grapes off the vine and I ship them to a store, even if they're not cooked and they're sitting in the store shelf for weeks, and then I bring them home and then I finally eat them, they're still not as life force as if I just picked them off the tree the day before or the same day. So then you might desire food at nighttime. So if you're doing things that go in the rhythm of the way we should be doing them, we'd be getting up when the sun rises or prior to the sun rising and debating, I mean, considering if we've had enough quantity and quality of sleep. But it really starts here at night. Things shut down, we'd be going to sleep, or at least starting to shut things down. The bright lights and the blue lights and everything would start shutting down at nighttime, and in the daytime. That's when you would use those. At nighttime, you would look at the colors of the sunset, the orange and the red. Those are the things, and there's a lot of studies out now that talk more about it. So if at nighttime, it's a good idea to change the lights. I just got these red light bulbs that I use at night if I must have light in the house. A lantern, or the Amish. Study the Amish. They have great information with the connection between electricity on many different levels, not only how it works on a biological level with our body and nature, but also on the impact of what we're watching, especially late at night. So these are things to consider. And I wanted to get on here and live and talk about this with you and let you all know this, the importance of doing these things. And we're learning. And now that I'm tracking my sleep, I'm learning and the different stages of sleep. I'm going to have a video coming up here shortly about the different types of stages and the different uh, areas you want to hit and the things you want to talk about. But there are some really good longevity experts out now that are starting to talk about the importance of sleep and and how everything we do should come to add up to that. And this is what I speak about often. So I'm here live, and if you subscribe to Real Life Health Show, you'll see more information, and you can get a free ebook if you subscribe to Real Life Health Show of the Daylight Diet. This book just went out of print, folks. So I might reprint it, but it went out of print right now. However, the ebook is available, and it's important to learn from the past, but also to understand nature and creation and the way it works. All right. So if anyone's watching, if you have any comments, you could post your comments below. But if you have a quick live comment or live question that you want to ask, you can do that here now. What else is happening? Also, I'm doing a lot of interviews with a lot of people, and I'm going to be bringing up these questions of the importance of these things. So look out for those interviews and the previous interviews. But I have a lot of information about the daylight diet that are not enough people are watching, or and I'm a person that has been a nighttime owl and a morning person as well, not getting enough sleep. If there's one thing I'm guilty of over the years, it's not getting enough sleep. It's going to sleep too late. It's getting up too more early. It's even though I've come to master not eating late at night, I certainly have not mastered not working late at night, which I'm improving on tremendously with excitement that I'm finally overcoming that hurdle. But it's not good to work late at night. It's not good to eat late at night. It's good to be sleeping late at night and be up in the morning. Now I know because of our lifestyles, sometimes we're forced to live outside our normal way we should be living. So some of us have uh, night shift jobs. Some of us just, for whatever reason, your schedule doesn't help you live the diet or the lifestyle we should be living. Well, hopefully through these videos and through talking with me, we can discuss some possible ways that those can make some change. You can make some changes to at least help. So if you have to be up at night with electricity, use the nighttime light colors instead of the blue lights. There's a blue light on your phone you can change to a night light phone. And exercise. Exercise during the daylight hours. Try not to exercise late at night if you can help it. So these things definitely help. And one of the things that make the biggest thing and helps the most is not eating before going to sleep or eating late at night. Tremendous difference, tremendous help. So I hope that makes sense. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here, joining me and watching. And feel free to comment about these things. Post your comments below. Until then, everybody, have a great day and